guys, it's Lucky Sixes here from Proxy Table Gaming. I hope you are all well. Today we've got a very special video for you, brought to you by myself, looking at some 3D hill terrain, but miniature size, for a game called The Breach, which if you're a follower of the channel already, you'll know we speak to Veil of the Ages quite a lot, Piteglio over there, and there is a game coming out called The Breach, and it has it's like a miniature version of the 9th Age. So today I've been challenged by Piteglio himself to come up with some terrain for the channel, and basically how to make your own, as you can see from the picture there. If you haven't checked out his channel already, I'll put his link in the description below, along with some other links and stuff. Check it out for sure. He's got a YouTube channel, all the social medias, the works, and it's definitely worth going, especially if you like 9th Age and or you want to get people into the 9th Age, which is exactly what the game does. Speaking of which, here is actually quite an old picture of the Breach potential contents. So again, it was a Kickstarter a little while ago, looking at an introduction to the 9th Age and gaming in total overall. And it's a really cool game with some really wicked miniatures. I can't show you anything more of the newer stuff, because that's coming soon. It's very exciting. But this is a picture I can show you of an example of what you could get. Within that as well, you get, as you saw from the last picture, you get lots of cards, and these are examples of something again you could get to show terrain. And while terrain isn't 3D terrain isn't in the packs, 2D ones will be, to show what they are. And of course that's where the challenge comes from today, and maybe other videos in the pipeline. Spoiler, there is a chance a challenge I should say, from Piteglio to myself to come up with some terrain pieces that can go over the top of this. So should you wish to play with 3D terrain, you bloomin' well can. So that's what we're going for. So the different pieces of terrain, or the card terrain that is described, is going to be impassable, so things like rock formations, or houses, or statues, or things like that. Hills, or elevated areas, so you could have, like the rocks there on the bottom left, areas of elevation that people can go on and see over and stuff. And you've got the forests and the terrain that gives you cover, so forests and fields and things like that. Today we're going to be focusing on the hill, as I've shown you, and of course one of the other big challenges is it's got to fit on that piece of card, on that card itself, because we don't want it too much bigger. So for this challenge, and if you want to come along with the ride and make it with me, this sort of stuff that you're going to need. You are going to need a playing card, first of all, and obviously because it's me, I chose the number 6. Some foam of sorts. I have loads of foam craft stuff here anyway, but if you don't worry, you don't need to go out and buy specific foam. You just need some sort of foam that's roughly the size of a playing card, or bigger, and you can get that within, literally, if you buy some things, you'll get foam that it fits in as well. Of course, if you want to go out and buy blocks of foam, like I have here, go ahead. You're going to need some paints. If you've got a brown spray paint, you're good to go, but if not, just other paints that can go along the hill that you want. So I've got a mixture there of browns for mud, greens for grass, and that is a grey for the rocks that I'm going to be adding in, because that's part of the thing. And then if you've got any flock, sand, grass sort of things as well, that's great. And of course some brushes and a knife. I've got a scalpel as well, but just a knife, everyday kitchen knife will do. PVA glue is important as well, but again we'll go into that when we get to it. So yeah, rough idea of what you're going to need. First up, if you've got a perfectly sized piece of foam, then great, you're on the thing. If not, you're going to have to cut it down to size to fit on top of the card. So again, just a normal playing card can is going to be the size of the cards coming out. So cut out the foam till you have something like this. And again, my block's quite deep, so don't worry, you don't have to make it too deep. You just have to make sure that it's elevated enough that one of your models would look like they are elevated. And again, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm doing a hill today, but you could easily do the same with rock like formations if you want to do that elevated, or steps, for example, like Egyptian steps and stuff. Whatever you want to do, but today we'll focus on the hill. Next off, you're going to cut different pieces using either the scalpel or the kitchen knife. Up to you. I use the kitchen knife for the most part, and I sculpted this wonderful white mounting of a hill. And as you can see, it's sort of roughly the size of the card. It's the bottom of it is going to cover the card, and the rest is sort of sculpted throughout. This is going to be the rock formation, these sort of jagged edges on the sides, the raised edges, and the rest is going to be the actual hill. So yeah, you can already see it sort of come into shape, and with your models, if you put it next to the card, you're going to see the size of it isn't that big, but it's enough to be elevated for sure. Next up, you can just put paint on it direct, which will work, but I decided to spray paint it for two reasons. Obviously it's easier for the coverage, but also if you see from this picture, it bubbles a little bit when you spray paint it, and it sort of reacts with the spray paint itself, and actually what that does is create a really nice rock texture and feature as well, so that can actually help the look for it itself. So I spray painted it brown to look like that. After it's dried, and make sure it does dry, give it enough time to dry, warm area, then you can apply some PVA glue to the area that you want to be grassed up, as I have done as well. If you want to make it patchy, do this. If you want to make it smoother, just get a paintbrush and just wipe over all the bits that you want to be covered by the grass. I want it to be really grassy, so I actually carried that step on, and literally did every part apart from that raised area at the back covered in PVA glue. Next up, you're gonna get your flock, and if you want, you can create a ready mix. I do that anyway for a lot of my models, but as you can see from this, I literally just sprinkled and like a good helping of like all the flock, and it's got a mixture of normal green grass, some more turquoisey grass, rocks, and then on the top I've done sand just to give it that walked on type feel. I haven't actually done anything else to the rocks behind, but as you can see, the sort of like the melting of the foam has actually given it that nice cool rock texture, and that really adds to the effect of the rock. It gives it that weathering look as well, which is pretty nice. I actually accidentally sliced into it with my thing, but it gives a quite a cool effect of a sword marking or something like that in it, which is quite cool. So again, with this, you literally don't need to worry if you get it wrong or you accidentally mis-sculpt something, because something like that can actually make it look cooler, man. So don't worry about that. And as you can see from this, you can already see like the ridges in the grass, but let's say I wanted a really grassy covered bit, so that's what we got. And really, that's pretty much it. Let it dry. And because of the PVA glue, give it a good time to dry. You might want to go over it again with the grass after a couple of hours, because you might find that the grass seeps in and the PVA glue actually comes up. Otherwise, guys, you've pretty much got your hill. As you see, that's there dried. You can see the contours, and you see some clumping as well, which is good for grass. I used quite a lot of sand and stuff because I wanted it a rocky area, and so you can see the foam behind. So you can always go a little bit further with the rocks as well. I decided to leave it there, but you can always add different colours to make shading, and use white for dry brush as well, although the actual white underneath of the foam makes it really cool to look at. And then finally, I got a picture of it on the gaming mat, although it's come up a bit shiny because of the gaming mat itself. And yeah, you can see it sort of like really just fits in there, and there's my model on it, just to show you sort of like a scale comparison. And that covers the card. You can't see the card there, which is really cool. So by about a couple of millimeters all the way around. So there you have it, really, folks. You've got your mini terrain for your models when the breach comes out, and you can use that. Of course, if you haven't ordered that already, I definitely implore you to go to the Velvet Age's website, or YouTube and all the social medias, blah blah blah, and order yours today, because it's a really cool set, great for beginners, great to show siblings or anything like that. The game, get them rolling some dice, learning the fundamentals of gaming and wargaming, and just have some fun, man. It's a wicked game. I've played it a few times already. You might want to, if you want to see it being played, or variations of it being played, go to his YouTube channel. He's got loads of videos on it. And if you like this sort of thing, the sculpting side of things, the hobby side, then our channel is the one for you. We've got loads of stuff with our resident hobbyist, PTG Gobbo, and bat reps, army chats, all that to do with the 9th Age, which is great. So, I hope you enjoyed. It was a quick one today, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And another thing to say, guys, this took about not PVA not included, about 3 hours to actually make. So it was really simple, really cool, really fun to make. So please try it yourselves. Let me know how yours gets on, any tips for myself, because I could always do with getting better. But yeah, there you go, guys. Simple and effective way of getting 3D terrain on top of your 2D terrain, if you are so inclined. Catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram for more hobbying stuff, 9th Age related things, and just fun in general. Anyway, guys, all the best.